So quick check-in on NIU from Husky Stadium immediately after the press conference here just got over. One of the big things, obviously, is the focus is turnovers. NIU 4 turnovers in the loss, one of them obviously on a Hail Mary late. It's still 4 turnovers, including 2 inside their own 2-yard line, which lead directly to 14 points in a one-score game. So obviously that's kind of the focal point here. I mean, the offense just has to stop turning the ball over. Hammock full-throatedly defended Ethan Hampton. He's the starter. It doesn't help anybody looking over their shoulders. And it's not his fault exclusively for the turnovers. It's been a mix. The offense, all the players on the offense have been, a missed block here, a missed assignment there. So that's kind of what they chalk that up to. So you're going to see Ethan Hampton moving forward. Also, although Ontario Brown failed to reach 100 yards, Hampton did point out his performance of just gutty and called it one of his best games, even though he finished, I think it was like 24 for 89 or something like that. Called it one of his gutty performances, and that's the type of performance you need in the NFL. NFL is a game of 3 or 4 yards. 3, 4, 4, and maybe a 10 or 12 in there. And that's what he gave them last week. So moving forward against UMass, obviously a team that Hammock said is a lot better than their record indicates at 1-4. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. I know NIU doesn't play a lot of win by more than one score, but obviously it would be big here for them to get that done if they could. Anyway, that's what's going on in DeKalb. See you guys.
Hey Maction fans, this is Cade Hampton with the Star Press here in Muncie, Indiana, giving you a quick rundown of the Ball State Cardinals. Last week was a rough one for the Cardinals as they suffered their 3rd consecutive loss, this time a 63-7 loss to James Madison. James Madison does look like one of the best teams in all of the Group of 5, led by star quarterback Alonzo Barnett III, and the Duke's aggressive defense forced 3 interceptions of Ball State QB Caden Samanza, who had only thrown 2 interceptions coming into the game all season. As far as injuries go, wide receivers Justin Bowick and Ty Robinson are both still out, although Robinson is expected to get back on the practice field soon. And linebacker Joey Stimler missed the game against James Madison, and freshman linebacker Sam Feeney stepped up with 2 sacks in his absence, but the team is hoping to get Stimler back soon as well. This week, the Cardinals will return home after playing 3 consecutive games on the road, and they will host Western Michigan for their 2nd MAC game. It is Western Michigan's first MAC game. Both teams enter the game at 1-3, so they'll be looking to get a big win and get their seasons back on track.
Todd, despite the 1-3 start, Bowling Green State University football is within a touchdown of each of its 3 losses, including 2 losses to Penn State and Texas A&M. But Coach Scott Loeffler is not making excuses for the 30-27 loss to Old Dominion on Saturday, but he says it gives the Falcons a chance to right the ship heading into Mid-American Conference play this week. They take on Akron, an Akron team that's 1-4. They've had some big losses to Ohio State, but we know this is the MAC, and we know what the MAC can be like. There's been some good things that came out of that game. For the 2nd week in a row, BG tight end Harold Fanning Jr., Mid-American Conference Offensive Player of the Week. It's the 2nd week in a row for him, 188 receiving yards. Coach Loeffler says this guy's an NFL player, and people need to start watching him. He caught 12 passes, and he was targeted 12 times. Scored 2 touchdowns, including a 59-yarder where he tiptoed the line, and they get another receiver back, R.J. Garcia, this week at transfer from Power 5 conference school. So we'll see if Fanning gets some help from the receiver corps this week at Akron. So don't count the Falcons out just because of a 1-3 start. They're 16 points away from being 4-0, and that's against 2 nationally ranked teams. So we'll see how they prepare against a good Akron team. Thanks, Todd.
Lenzi from the Buffalo News. UConn dismantled Buffalo 47-3 last week in East Hartford, and which was a complete letdown for a team that was coming off beating the then number 23 team in the country a week prior in the Mid-American Conference opener. Now, UB has to completely reset as it resumes its Mid-American Conference schedule October 12th against Toledo. The bye week comes at a good time for the Bulls. It's imperative that UB has to find offensive consistency. We're more than a month into the season, and the offense cannot be a work in progress anymore. It has to have an identity. One of those things it has to do, UB has to manage third down situations better. They were 1 for 14 on third down at UConn. Very concerning. And a lot of managing those third down situations comes from gaining yardage and executing in first and second down situations. UB is off this weekend, so the bye week comes at a right time. And again, UB has to reset to face a MAC title contender in Toledo next weekend.